Hey everybody, it's Random Granny back on the block and back from my trip, and I got a lot to talk about. Matter of fact, this is probably going to be like a few different videos with different subject matters. This one is going to be about what I did to prep for my first travel in over 5 years while being isolated from the general public for 5 years. So, my friend that I've been friends with since fourth grade wanted me to come visit, and I couldn't afford it. So she went in with another friend of mine and they bought my ticket. And so this is where the whole fiasco starts, right? Because I literally had no control over anything, and it was overwhelming and it was stressful, and I didn't think I was going to make it. I almost didn't go, but I did. It's so interesting now finding out that my autism and my ADHD have literally been running my life in the background while I've been trying to, mask and, just get through things and pretend to be, who I'm not. And I didn't realize how important routine was for me, and I didn't understand how important sameness and expectations were to me, knowing what to expect. And so when my friends went in together to buy my ticket, they bought my ticket through United Airlines, and I've never flown United. My whole life of traveling, I've flown Southwest, and so I know what to expect with Southwest. I had no idea what to expect with, with United Airlines. And then on top of that, I've always flown like, regular. I didn't know there was anything besides regular. And the ticket they bought for me was called Economy Basic. What Economy Basic means is just that. It's economy, which is already basic, but then there's a basic under economy. And so, like, I couldn't have a carry-on bag. And I was only taking a carry-on bag because I don't pack a lot. I don't pack a lot. I pack pretty light. And so all I had was my carry-on and a backpack. Well, on Economy Basic, you can't take a carry-on. You have to check your bag. That was expensive. For my little tiny carry-on bag, it was $70 round trip, for my flight. So that was annoying because I've never had to pay for a carry-on before. And the backpack that I wanted to take was 3 inches too tall and 2 inches too wide. So I wasn't going to be able to take that one because that would have been an additional $65 for my backpack because it was too large to fit under the seat in Economy Basic, way at the back of the plane with no leg room. So I had to figure out another bag to carry, and there was all of this. I was just so overwhelmed. And I'm like, what bag am I going to take? What am I going to pack? And how am I going to take my laptop? And, I can't take my back. It was too much. The other thing that was different was, and, not that I'm spoiled, but I've always had like, TSA pre-check or, whatever, pre-check. And I had to go through like regular security, and I had never done that before. And that was a nightmare. And also, an invasion of my privacy. I was envisioning this whole thing, and I wasn't far off. I'll talk about that later. And so there was that I had to deal with. And on top of that, doing all of my research, trying to figure out what I needed to do, I also found out that I can't pick my own seat. So I had to sit where they assign me. And I'm very particular about my seat. I have to have a window seat. Second best scenario is an aisle seat. Worst is sitting in the middle between two other people with their arms touching me. So I was stressed out about that. So luckily, I had an appointment with my therapist that week, and she was like, first off, let's break it down, she said, into everything that I just told you guys about. So we broke it down, and she's like, okay, this is what I need you to do. She goes, I need you to get your ADHD side and your autistic side together. And I want you guys to put together a list of things that you need to do and accomplish. Now that you know all these other things, put it on the back burner, put it in a jar, put the lid on, put it away, and let's concentrate on what you can control. And so I was so thankful for her. If you don't have a good therapist and you are a neurodivergent, get you a really good therapist. It took me literally decades to find a good one, but she was worth the wait because she literally talked me off a cliff. Like, I would say literal cliff, but luckily I don't live anywhere around mountains, so the only thing I'm going to be able to jump off here is like, one step off my, my front stoop. But anyway, so that's what I did. And I broke everything down into just little teeny tiny pieces. And I only did one thing per day because anything over and above that was going to cause an issue. And one thing per day worked out really well for my ADHD side and for my autistic side. And so, all three of us were getting along, quite well on that. So I was grateful for that. And so if I can find my list, if I still have it somewhere, I'm going to share it with you guys so I can break down what I did to prep for my travel. So hang on, I'll be right back. So, oh, and if it looks a little dark in here, I'm sitting in my studio and I kind of just have one overhead light because I'm still kind of decompressing, from my travel and everything like that. So, I'm still keeping the lights, pretty low. But anyway, I found my list and, I'll try to take a picture of it and put it on screen somewhere. But, this was my plan. Easy peasy, because that's how I like it. And so the plan. So Wednesday before my trip, I went to the grocery store because I had to buy stuff to cook for my husband because he wouldn't cook for himself or feed himself while I'm gone because, he's a man. So I went to the store so I could fix him all of his favorite foods and have it all ready for him and portioned and frozen, put in the freezer and refrigerator for him to eat while I was gone. So Wednesday, I went to the grocery store. And then Thursday, he's Italian, and so I made his spaghetti gravy. Us folks over here call it, spaghetti sauce, but over there they call it spaghetti gravy. So I made his spaghetti gravy and I cleaned the kitchen. And then that was on Thursday. On Friday, I had my doctor's appointment, and that went really well, you guys. At that doctor's appointment, I was able to tell him that I for sure had been diagnosed with autism. And so he prescribed me a stronger Adderall, which I needed. And he said that the stronger dose of Adderall should help calm and quiet my brain down a little bit more so I'm able to get through things a little bit better. As far as executive functioning and impulsivity and, keeping all those things under control. But he also said, however, it might cause more autistic traits to bubble to the surface. So, kind of prepare for that. So that was really cool. And he also gave me something to, quiet me down while I was traveling. And so I was really grateful for that. So anyway, my doctor's appointment was perfect. My numbers were excellent. And he said I'm going to live to be 104. And then on Saturday, okay, so that was Friday. On Saturday, I finished cleaning the kitchen and I did my hair. And I have a whole nother video on how I prepped my hair for travel so I wouldn't have to do anything with it while I was gone. Then on Sunday, I finished packing. And then what I started doing once I was finishing packing, then I lived out of my suitcase to make sure I had everything that I needed and that everything made sense. And so I've always done that. And if you don't do that, do it. I always try to pack like 4 to 5 days before I travel. So I literally can live out of my suitcase to make sure I have everything I need and to make sure that I don't have, to make sure I'm not taking things I don't need. And so that really helps. And then that was on Sunday, finished packing. On Monday, this was the day before my travel. On Monday morning, I printed out my ticket and I got into the shower. And it was a really good shower day since my doctor had given me a little bit stronger Adderall. I didn't have as much of the sensitivity issue. I had enough executive functioning to work past and work through the sensory issues of having water going down my back and everything like that. So that was a godsend. And so that worked out really well. And then so on that Monday, I printed my ticket and took a shower, and then I rested the rest of the day. And then Tuesday, the next day, was my travel. And everything went so smooth, and I'm glad I kind of worried about everything and thought everything through and did all of my research. So I felt comfortable, at least in the knowledge of things that were going to be coming up and everything like that. And so I'm glad I did that. And then I called my Uber actually the night before. So Monday night, I called my Uber for Tuesday morning. That went flawlessly. Everything went perfectly. I had pre-checked my bags. And so I found a little carry-on that I could take where I could take my laptop and everything I wanted with me, and my earplugs and all of my little snacks. And so that worked out really well. And on that flight, I was able to get a window seat. So that was perfect. And everything just went so much better than I thought it would. The only thing that gave me a little bit of stress was just going through the security checkpoints and having to take off my shoes and take out my jacket and, making sure I took everything out of my pockets. And so I was getting a little nervous about, did I remove everything, or they think I'm hiding something, or, what if I forget to pick something up out of my, out of the little tub, stuff like that. But that went well too. And there was a couple of little glitches and everything like that. And because I forgot to take off my wrist thing, because I have a bad wrist. I forgot to take that off, so that was kind of an ordeal. And they had to take that off, and they had to scan me, and they had to pat me down and touch me. That was an issue, but I masked and camouflaged through it, and it was fine. But that's the only hiccup I had, except for the long layover that I had at O'Hare Airport. That was 3.5 hours, but it is what it is. But yeah, you guys, I couldn't wait to get on here and tell you that everything went better than I thought. But I am glad that I freaked out a little bit, because by me freaking out meant I was prepared. And being prepared meant everything. And being prepared got me through all the little bumps and the little hiccups and everything like that. So anyway, I couldn't wait to come back and start telling you how everything went. I'm so proud of myself. And I tell you, the biggest thing for me was realizing that I had isolated myself from the general public for 5 years. And then my first experience is being thrown, into a full packed airport. Probably not the best thing, but jump in feet first and, go for it. Anyway, thank you for letting me share all of my eventfulness of my travel. And I missed you guys, actually, being on the road and everything like that. I kind of miss sitting down and decompressing and, regulating myself by doing these videos. And so it's good to be back. And as usual, I'm going to tell you to always make sure that you're drinking plenty of water and stay hydrated, because right now my mouth is as dry as the Sahara Desert. And remember to feed yourself healthy foods, where possible. Take your meds if that applies to you. I missed you guys, and I love you, and I will see you in my next video.